Over the last decade or so, the overall potency of THC in marijuana strains has increased substantially. So the marijuana overall has a bigger impact on you. If you don't believe me, ask the man himself, Louis C.K.
I'm standing in a parking lot with these kids, like 20 years old, and we're smoking a joint. And I'm taking huge hits because I had no idea. I didn't know they've been working on this shit like it's the cure for cancer. I didn't understand the fucking technology that's gone into making pot so powerful. Because when I was a kid, you could just smoke a joint for a while. Now you take 2 hits and you go insane. It's not doable anymore.
But enough about Mr. Louis C.K. We're here to talk about the overall weed withdrawal symptoms of the man himself, Logan Paul. So no long talk, let's get straight to it.
Boys, I'm not in the fucking mood.
Oh no!
I'll tell you right now.
What's wrong?
I'm a little lethargic today.
Yep.
That's all.
You've been tenderizing that meat of yours a lot
No,
lately.
actually, here's why.
You've been beating it.
Because maybe because my masturbatory levels have been higher than usual.
Yeah.
But maybe because, okay, so I had an epiphany. I had found myself getting a bit angrier than usual during the day.
I've been on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, right. So yeah, you experience it, and so something's clearly off.
Yeah.
And the only thing I've changed in my 25 years of existence on this planet is the motherfucking ganja plant. That good kush, Mary Jane, my friend. It's the only thing I've changed during this quarantine, and I think it's finally affecting me. I think I've hit my weed cap. Remember, I've been joking like, yo, I'm a pothead, and I wanted to experiment with it. It was smoking and see what it did to me, see how I react, if I like it, if I don't. It was cool, had some benefits, but it appears that it may be affecting me negatively now.
That's the thing I always say, right? It's important to take a tolerance break periodically, right? I've never said that weed is negative or weed is like a major issue per se, but if you're a daily smoker, you know, I think it might be time. Like, when was the last time you took a tolerance break from weed? Ask yourself that question. When was the last time I took a week without smoking weed? If you can't remember that, yo, that's an issue. It's an issue, no cap.
Oh, I just said you got problems. Deeply rooted. You working your way to crazy. See, crazy is this edge right here. You're back here. And this is you fucking with the edge. Like, oh shit, that's the fucking edge right there to crazy. I'ma jump.
It's an issue. So one of the things that I usually tell people is that when you are in the process of maybe quitting for a tolerance break, or maybe you're trying to quit forever, like when you say you're trying to go for 30 day detox of weed, tell the people around you that you are quitting weed. Let them know, right? Let them know, okay, if I'm irritable, if I'm angry, if I get very short tempered with you, just let you know that I'm quitting weed, and because I'm no longer smoking it for this time period, I may snap at you. So just letting you know. Just letting you know.
Are you mad? Because if you are, I'm sorry.
And overall, right, one of the things that made you okay or made you content throughout your day was the dopamine spike that you were getting from your weed use. So a way to combat this is in the morning. Every morning during your tolerance break or during the time that you're trying to quit, let's say forever, at least for 30 days, let's say 30 days, like a week, you say you're trying to quit for a week or for 30 days, every morning, I'd highly, did you hear me? Highly recommend that you do a minimum of a 5 to 10 minute workout every morning. Even on your off days, let's say it's a non-workout day or it's a rest day, do a 5 to 10 minute workout every morning, right? Just so you can get that dopamine spike, but in the form of exercise. You know those ones where you get like a runner's high, like after you work out, like you had a good like solid workout, you sweated a little bit, you feel good. You know, it's just something about like a post-workout that makes you feel, you know, bubbly, or I don't know, bubbly, but like make you feel good, right?
So get this, by working out, by exercising, by having mild stress on the body, we are training the brain to become more resilient, which is exactly why we feel so good. Stress literally doesn't affect us as much because the BDNF has put this protective layer around the brain cells so they don't get affected as badly. It's truly remarkable, and it actually has effects that stick. So even when you're working out and you feel amazing and then you kind of come down from that workout high, you're still at a baseline that's higher than you were before. Each and every time you work out and you increase that BDNF, you are increasing your brain cells' resilience. So that little bit of stress that you put yourself through is doing amazing things in terms of getting you, well, high, so to speak.
And because of the fact that dopamine spikes after a workout, because you are taking away the artificial spike of dopamine via the marijuana, you still need that dopamine hit, but naturally, in the form of exercise. So if you can't do a high intensity interval training for 5 to 10 minutes, I would highly recommend you do like a yoga workout, or yoga for strength training, or yoga, or some type of yoga. Yoga for, 20 minutes. Yoga sessions are usually 20, 25 minutes, or 5-10 minute hits, high intensity interval training will definitely make up for the lack of dopamine you are not getting. Right? I'm sure you're gonna talk about some other withdrawal symptoms that you'll experience. But another common one is insomnia, lack of appetite, and yeah, I think I've covered most of it so far. But let's see what else he says.
So I stopped, and I think I might be going through weed withdrawals.
Wow. I'm sorry, I have to laugh at that. Just as someone who's going through actual withdrawals. They do exist.
Yeah.
They do exist. Weed withdrawals do exist. Me and him had this conversation about this the other day, and he was like, I've been feeling like these certain feelings, whether it be anxiety or frustration or anger or whatever.
Just mood swings.
And I said, this is unlike you. You are the most headstrong individual I've ever met in my entire life. You've never been able to relate to me on any of my issues because you don't have them. And now that you have them, I started doing some contact tracing. I started doing my investigative work.
Yep.
And the one thing I found was, it's hard to imagine, when you add in a drug that is meant to change the chemical makeup of your brain, and then you start experiencing symptoms of the makeup of the chemical balance of your brain happening, it's almost like those two are just right next to each other, dude. It's just an easy. And listen, I'm not knocking weed. Relatively safe drug. You got to use it responsibly, and you have to be the right person for it. But I think Logan might be starting to feel some of those psychological withdrawals.
It's all started to add up.
I think so. And I don't like it. I don't like the idea of being codependent on anything.
Mm-hmm.
There was coffee even. I've been not drinking coffee these past 2 days because I would notice when I smoke weed, I got up a little groggy. In order to get rid of the grogginess, I drink coffee. So now I'm in this fucking weird ass cycle and I don't like it. And so right now you may be experiencing, the version of me that is returning to the normal sociopath.
No extra sad.
Such a crazy topic though, because it's such like a JV type shit compared to like actual and people watching this are gonna be like, that's not true. Weed doesn't do that kind of stuff, but it surely has an effect, and not only the effect of you stopping it, but I started to notice that you would just be like, damn man, like I think I'll just go downstairs and smoke some weed. I'm like, do you really want to tonight? And you're just like, I want to relax, man. And you started like using it as like a crutch,
for sure.
which is just
That's another thing, right? Not only can you be a wake and baker, like you wake up and smoke right away, but also typically people tend to use weed as a way to deal with their insomnia or just to sleep better, quote unquote, right? But you still gotta remember that it is a drug, and if you overconsume it and you abuse it, your brain starts relying on it to signal you to sleep, right? So if you currently are trying to quit weed and you're dealing with insomnia issues, I'd highly recommend that, first of all, right, look at your day. Are you busy throughout your day, or are you, for the most part, couch potato? The days where you are the busiest, or that you've done a lot of exercise, or you've been like on your feet, or you've been working, right? You knock out pretty quickly as soon as you get home, right? Let's say you're a server at a job, right? From my experience, if I was a server, I was on my feet for anywhere from 10 to even 13 hours at a time. By the time you get home, man's already sleeping on the bus, and then by the time you get home, you're just trying to take a like a dinner or a snack real quick, and you're about to K again, right?
Yep, this is great. Good night, Squidward.
Good night, SpongeBob.
So that exercise in the morning, or implementing a standing desk, or having that yoga session in the morning. Hello Earthlings, future Owolabby here. I was also going to add that aiming to get about 10,000 steps in each day can also facilitate you to be more tired, or I guess more ready to sleep in the evening, because you've expended energy throughout the day. On every iPhone, there's a health app on the iPhone. It'll tell you how many steps you've taken throughout the day, and that'll help you keep track of your expenditure of steps throughout the day, right? So 10,000 steps in each day is a good mark as well, in addition to the morning HIIT workout or the morning yoga, and definitely the evening yoga session to replace your activity of smoking. All right, health facilitates you to be tired by the time it comes evening time, right? So let's say you smoked to fall asleep. Now, to replace that, I highly recommend you do a yoga session in the evening. Definitely yoga. If you don't want to do yoga in the morning, definitely do yoga in the evening. There's many videos on YouTube, such as yoga to sleep better, yoga for back, yoga for relaxation, stuff like that, right? That help put your mind and your body in that mindset of sleepiness and being tired or being relaxed, right? And another big thing that deters your overall sleep quality is the blue light that is emitted from your phone and the lights in your house and in your room. So a highly recommended thing to do is to get blue light blocking glasses. They're ones courtesy of Sonic Sleep. They essentially facilitate the rise of melatonin and prevent it from being suppressed from all of your electronic devices in your house and in your home. And some other many things to think about is also having a caffeine curfew at about 3 p.m. I mean, coffee is also one of those things that blocks your melatonin production and makes you still wide awake. So your last cup of coffee should be by 3 p.m., right? That's another thing. So those are some things to think about if you are someone who struggles with insomnia, weed-induced insomnia.
Telltale sign. You got to be careful with it. It's a drug like any other drug. It can have the same kind of effects on you.
And in general, I know this about myself. I don't mix well with drugs. Logan Paul does not mix well with drugs. There's a fact I know about myself. Mm-hmm. And I did the thing, and now we're here. But dude, I had a crippling anxiety attack the other night. I've never had that in my life.
I can't believe that. Yeah,
25 years ago.
Crippling? Dude, I didn't see any of this.
He wasn't here. He was back in Vegas.
Bad. Bad. Poor Josie.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking rehabilitated me, resuscitated me back to life. Thank God she was there. It was bad, dude.
Well, what started it?
My mind was racing with thoughts that just bad thoughts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And real unhealthy. And I told Josie, I was like, yo, this is something's wrong. Something is off with me. This does not happen to you. Know me.
Did you smoke that day?
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. I don't think so. I think that may have been
the night before, because also you were partying a little bit too. And I did tell him that hangover is a culprit for that kind of action.
Just to know, I've said this in many videos in the past, but I guess not everybody watches every video. But if you definitely experience an anxiety attack, whether it's weed induced or not, having lemon on hand that you can bite into it helps take you out of your own head and brings you centered into the here and now.
Stop a panic attack right here. If you're at home, here's how to stop a panic attack. You keep lemons on hand. If you're having a panic attack, what you do is you grab one of the lemons and bite into it. This grounds you. Lemons are extremely bitter. When you bite into this, the texture, the bitterness, it's gonna stop the bullshit that's going on in here and focus you to force on your mouth. It will bring you out of a panic attack. That's why it's called grounding techniques. You know what? They work. It's using your senses and your strongest senses to bring you out of a panic attack. Panic attack is a massive amount of emotions, and it's so overwhelming that it feels like you're dying sometimes. It feels like you're having a heart attack. Lemons, the bitterness from these things, bite into them. Get the juices into your mouth. Get out of here and get back to here and fight through it. You're stronger than what battles that you're going through. You're an amazing human being.
So, but having a lemon on hand, I'm not saying you should carry lemon everywhere you go, but having lemon is if you are smoking weed, just somewhere in your room or somewhere where you can access it, bite into it, right? Bite into it, and the sour taste on the lemon will take you out of your own head and bring you present into the here and now, right? And that will relieve some of the anxiety. Or you can also take black pepper, sniff it, and the stuffy feeling that you get in your nose will also make you centered in the here and now. So black pepper, lemon, right? One of those two, whether it's weed induced or not, those things can subside your anxiety or panic attack. Also, I know how you said that marijuana is like a JV drug compared to all these other drugs like cocaine or methamphetamine, stuff like that. Always remember, anytime you make a comment about weed is not addictive, I've already told you, right? It's more potent than it has been in years past. And also, your experience with marijuana definitely differs from the next man's experience with marijuana, right? The age you started smoking, like were you 14, were you 16, were you 22, and how often you smoke. Are you a daily smoker? Are you an everyday smoker? Are you only a couple times a week? Bi-weekly smoker? These two things play the biggest factors and the biggest roles in how likely you are to be addicted. And remember as well, right? Just as with the alcohol, some people are lightweights, some people are heavyweights. It might be due to your genetic makeup, you just are able to consume more alcohol without getting drunk, or just naturally, I don't know, for whatever reason, you can't handle it like other people can, right? Some people, when they consume cannabis, they get the munchies, while other people, they don't want to eat, right? And they lose weight, other people gain weight. So you can't really, there's a lot of anecdotal experience and there's not enough like full-on research to, the research is still coming out on like how marijuana affects people differently, but your one experience does not coincide with everybody else's experience.
Too, but something tells me that his massive increase over, year over year on the amount of weed that he's been intaking is probably a good, and is the contributor that I think it is,
I blame quarantine.
Are you just losing your mind?
Well, mind you, I only started at the beginning of the quarantine. Just like everyone else, I was fucking bored. Like, quarantine sucks. You're stuck in your home, I might as well smoke, right? Okay, I did. Now I'm finding it may not be the best thing for me. It's cool for everyone who smokes. Like, I get it. Just make sure you monitor yourself. That's the one thing I'm good at. One thing you guys are actually good at holding me accountable. The other night I was thinking about it. And you're like, nah, you should take a break for a bit. Like that one sentence. That one sentence spurred me into what is now my dry streak. Like you helped me immensely.
Yeah, weed heads will acknowledge that too. Like they're not, they're the first people to say, "Yo, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody." Yeah. They're very understanding, and not everybody. I personally can't smoke weed. It fires up all those thoughts. It gives me anxiety. Even an indica strain that's meant to put me to sleep, for some reason I just don't tolerate it well. And so,
moderation is also a thing I'm not so good at. I'm zero.
Maxing out every single night as much as you possibly can.
No bueno.
But yeah, also another thing, if you're trying to quit weed for a tolerance break, like 1 week or 30-day detox completely, don't think about the act of quitting weed. Rather, focus on the outcome that you actually want. So let's say you're thinking, okay, maybe say the craving hits you, right? Or you should smoke weed. But then you're thinking, oh, but I want to quit weed. Don't say I want to quit weed. Say I'd rather save money. Say I'd rather drink water. Say I'd rather focus on XYZ. Focus your attention on the thing that you want, not the thing that you're trying to avoid, or not the thing that you're trying to quit, right? Because when you say I'm not going to quit weed, what is the sentence still acknowledging? Weed, right? So say I'd rather save money. I'd rather build an emergency fund. I'd rather have more money so I can get my own crib and move out of my parents' apartment. I'd rather have more money so that I can get my own car. I'd rather drink water. I'd rather XYZ, right? And also, another thing, what is the consequence for you smoking weed? Will you give someone, your roommate, $5 or $10? Will you do all of the chores in the house for that week? Will you wash the dishes for that week or for that day? Like, what is the consequence for your action, right? Like for me personally, when I was trying to get better at talking to girls, I gave my friend, I think it was $30 in $5 bills, right? So I told him, if I don't approach at least 6 girls today, keep my money. So for every girl I approached, I got $5 back. So in your case, for every time you smoke weed, are you gonna give someone $5? Or are you gonna give your friend $5? And you have someone you can talk to hold you accountable to your decision making. You know what I'm saying? So those are essentially things that you can think about and to implement into detoxing and overall just quitting weed for a certain time period, for a drug test, for your own personal reasons, spiritual, you're on your spiritual tip, or whatever else, you know what I'm saying? But yo, God bless, much love, peace, and joy. Namaste. Watch some of my other videos right here on how exercise helps you quit weed and how intermittent fasting or fasting in general can help you quit weed as well. Alright, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it, and too much of any good thing is good for nothing. Flip the script, I'm out.
Like I'm in love with this paper. If it ain't ball, easy, see you later. Come pop up on these haters. Man, they get run like they on me. That's envy and jealousy.